Welcome to CFO Chronicles, the secrets behind success. The go-to podcast for fractional CFOs and accounting firm owners who want to attract more high-paying clients and increase their revenue. Hosted by James Donovan from 92 Media. This podcast dives into marketing strategies specifically designed for lead generation and client acquisition. In each episode, you'll hear from industry leaders sharing their success stories and expert tactics to help you sign more lucrative clients and grow your business. Tune in and discover actionable insights to transform your marketing efforts and boost your bottom line.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Sally. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about some tax strategies. We have a handful of listeners across the US, a lot in the tax and accounting profession, a handful of others, variety of business owners. Would love to give you the chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what service you provide.
I appreciate this, James. Thank you. My name is Sally Gimon, and back in 2018, when my mom got sick, I became a real estate investor. In 2019, still working full-time as a Medicare broker, worst job in the world, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide, paid off $184,000 in debt, completely debt-free. I knew about capital gains, and I had $50,000 for my 2019 taxes. April 4th, 2020, started COVID. My CPA calls me and says, "Congratulations, your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. I don't know if that's congratulations sarcastic or if he was being honest about that. But he said I made a lot more money. Well, instead of paying $50,000, I had to pay $97,000. He did set me up on a payment plan with the IRS for 12 months. Thank God for that, because scrambling for an extra $29,000 when 3 of my properties stopped paying me April 1st, kind of scary. But with COVID, I didn't have to drive an hour into work and an hour out of work. So an extra 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day was amazing. I had read an article about the Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. It's 7 generations old. It's has almost 400 people under the same EIN number. So I started researching this for my own situation. I started both my business and beneficial spendthrift trust in September of 2020. I requested the gentleman, the law firm that I got my spendthrift trust with. I said, "Can I teach this in my real estate group?" So I was an affiliate of the gentleman who sold the trust. Sad story, he died very unexpectedly last November. The law firm called me and they said, "You've been selling so many trusts in your real estate group. We would like you to become a direct affiliate of the law firm." With the business trust, so to give you a little bit of information, our current tax code went into effect February of 1913. It's only supposed to be around for about 4 years. That's a lot longer than that. But the super rich families, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. It's tax code 643B. The law firm I work on behalf of was founded by a Harvard law professor, Paul Benson. He wrote 5 separate trusts to save 5 very specific taxes. The business trust for U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, and I call them independent contractors, affiliate marketers, digital marketers, things like that. The beneficial trust for all investors. Then there's a senior trust if you're over 65 and making too much money, can affect your Part B of Medicare. The charitable trust, and I've only sold one. I always forget the word for it. Oil rights, shale rights, mineral rights, because I don't know many people who have oil wells, but I have one client who does.
Okay, perfect. That's quite the introduction.
Sorry, I talk a lot, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all good. So that's how you got into things. Super exciting. So fast forward, are you doing this on your own now? Or are you still an affiliate with the law firm?
Correct, affiliate with the law firm. They've been around for 72 years. Not a single trust has ever been audited. One trust was examined in 2018. So the law firm is so confident, they'll give you a certification. If you get a trust from the Benson Financial Group, they will give you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they will defend you free of charge. They have 4 trust attorneys on staff. And I mean, for me personally, I'm not trying to crow, but I've wholesaled 28 homes since I've had it. I have 12 notes where people pay me, I'm the paper on the house, people pay me their mortgage. I have 3 rentals and I have 3 seller financing houses that I'm saving thousands of dollars. And I want to teach this to other people.
That's amazing. So are you doing this full time essentially with the law firm, Sally? You're a full time, essentially independent. You're your own boss as an affiliate with the law firm, making sure people can utilize this tax break, this tax code.
Exactly. Just give you an example. A mechanic in New Jersey, husband and wife run the shop, not working harder, not working smarter. They're going to save $36,469 per year, or an extra $3,039 a month. He's got 3 grown children, want nothing to do with the auto body shop. He went to the local high school a few weeks ago and put up a flyer saying who wants to learn auto mechanics. Hired two kids. They come in after school. He's teaching them how to do auto mechanics. He's paying them $15 an hour from the money he's saving, and he's bringing in more business, so he's making more money. I mean, it's an amazing thing people can do with this.
That's awesome. That's great. How are you going out and finding new people to work with? And do you sell this knowledge? How are you getting compensated for this?
I get more clients from TikTok than all the other places, but I do 6 videos a day on TikTok and repost them because there's the business trust, and then with the beneficial trust, you will no longer pay capital gains, interest income if you're a passive investor, dividend income if you're in the stock market, rental income if you have rental properties, and then royalties if you have talent. So each video is 1 minute long, and then I usually do a longer video per day and post it different places. And clients reach out to me all the time because they're like, how can we save money? I mean, people want to save money, and it's legal. I mean, why wouldn't you want to find out about it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So people reach out to you. You're doing some videos on TikTok. Content's obviously huge. Um, People get in touch with you. Then what does that process look like? How are you getting compensated for it? Is it a percentage off what's being saved? Are you selling the knowledge they implement it on their own? What does that look like?
Correct. I have a free class on the Great Discovery. Have you heard of Six Sigma Consulting Group?
I haven't.
Okay, they came out of 3M about 40 years ago. My older brother is a black belt in Six Sigma, so that's why I know about them. But it's a neat platform. What they're going to start doing is the learner can take any class in any language and put it into their native language. So if you speak Mandarin, if you speak Spanish or Hindu. So that's why I have a free class. It's my name, www.sallygimon.com to get to it. I do a 23-minute presentation. I have 3 articles from Forbes magazine that talk about the Spendthrift Trust. People think it's a complete lie. I have 2 pages of case law so people can research it. And then I also put together, there's 4 ways to file your taxes: single, head of household, married jointly, married separately. Single is the most expensive way. So I did $80,000 in all 50 states to show how much somebody making $80,000 filing single would save in each state. The 7 states that don't have state income taxes: Tennessee, Nevada, Texas, Florida, and South Dakota, I'm forgetting 2. They'll still save 5 figures, low 5 figures, $11,987 a year. But 10 years, you saved over $111,000. That's your money. Put it back into the business, pay off your mortgage, buy a new car, take the family on vacation, give to charity, save for retirement. I mean, it's the rich can do it. Why can't the regular people do it?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. You're obviously very passionate about this, Sally. That's great. What's been some of like the biggest wins for you since you started doing this?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Feeling like your growth has hit a plateau, even though you're putting in the work? Maybe you're attracting clients, but not the high-end ones who see your true value as an advisor. Or you're stuck in compliance mode with all the big wins happening just a few months of the year. I get it. It's frustrating. And it's not how you envisioned your business evolving. That's why I'm offering a strategy call designed specifically for business owners ready to break through these barriers. This isn't just about leads. It's about creating a strategy that aligns with your marketing, personal brand, and sales approach to attract clients who pay what you're worth. Imagine starting the new year with a clear plan, a stronger personal brand, and more high-ticket clients. If you're serious about taking things to the next level and want a true growth partner, now's the time. Visit accountingleadsnow.com or click the link in the show notes to book your strategy call. Don't let another month pass by without a roadmap to achieve the results you're after. I'm here to help you make the shift.
I have quite a few JV partners, especially business brokers, and I have a JV agreement, and the business brokers, like, they're my ideal customer, because when you sell a business, I'm not sure if people realize this, but long-term capital gains a year or more are either 15 or 20%. So when you sell a business, you get to save money, and then when the person's buying a business, they save the federal income and state income taxes on that. And what a business broker group in Michigan, there's 4 brokers there. They're sending me business, 2-3 clients every single month, because I don't know what you would call them, the generation, the people who are in their 60s and 70s are getting out of, one was a cafeteria, one was a restaurant, one was a mechanic shop, one was a printing shop, and say, they're selling their business, and then the people who are buying the business are going to save money for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's amazing. And the business broker makes money on both ends of that.
Okay, cool. Those are great wins. What about if we flip to the other side of the page? What have been some of the biggest hurdles or challenges or growth opportunities you've had to face while doing this?
Great question. Last year, April 2023, multifamily apartment owners were here in the Charlotte area. I'm just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. So I bought a ticket. We go to lunch. There's 6 of us at lunch. We're talking everything else. One of the gentlemen who has investors come in, he was very excited. Get on the Zoom with him. He sits at the Zoom and he says, "My CPA says you're lying. I want nothing to do with you." And he gets off the Zoom. So all his investors have no idea. I do a free question answer on Mondays at 4 p.m. East Coast time. I had a grown adult. He's in his 30s. Mom and dad have 5 apartment buildings in the Bronx. Give him the information. He contacts me about a week later, says, "My CPA does not believe you." And I said, "Well, there's a textbook that trust attorneys study in law school. Only 4% of all attorneys are trust attorneys. It's called Scott and Asher on Trusts." Because I'll tell my a CPA about this. Someone gets on my calendar, I didn't realize it was a CPA. He had bought the book on Amazon, and he's just like, "Do you know how many of my clients are selling their apartment buildings in the Bronx?" He and I are doing quite a bit of business together. So sometimes CPAs want to work with me, but most of the time CPAs are like, "You're going to steal my clients." I'm like, "No, we're going to help your clients, not steal them."
Interesting. That's cool. Sounds it does sound very similar to when the employee retention tax credit came out, and there was a lot of skepticism around that, and everyone was going, "Well, my CPA says it's not real. My CPA says I shouldn't do this." When in reality, maybe they just weren't looking into, what did it look like from A to Z, and why is this legal, and where is the money coming from, and why it's beneficial to the business applying for it. I'm hearing that a lot of this sounds very similar to that.
Exactly. I mean, if you have access to a law library, Black's Law Dictionary talks about the Spendthrift Trust. It's the best kept secret of the super rich, and there is a little bit of work to be done. You're going to get a new EIN. You're going to get a new bank account. When I started my trust, I had 6 notes. It took 2 months because my servicer had to send a letter to the people who were. It's basically their house and the mortgage on the house. And there was correspondence that had to go back and forth. But when the money started going into my bank account, I mean, that's interest income. That's taxed between 10% to 37%, depending on your tax bracket. So I use everything for my taxes as 24% because that's how I started the trust. And an extra saving an extra $9,000 a year. I can put that into another note and get another property with all the money I'm saving. And that's exactly what I've done.
That's cool. I mean, there's obviously going to be a couple hoops and a bit of admin to go through, but if that's, I think, what is the barrier to entry and why some people just taper off and don't do it. And if you're willing to jump through some of those things on the front end and you don't mind putting up with some of the verification, the headaches, etc., you're just getting rewarded on the back end. I think a lot of people miss that.
Exactly. And not making fun of Susie Orman, but 97% of trusts sold every single year are what my mom and dad had, the family trust. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just avoids probate. The Spendthrift Trust saves you in four ways: taxes year after year, generation after generation, keeps your information private. There's a I do you do any real estate investing or crypto investing?
A little bit of real estate, but I'm also in Canada, so none of these apply to
Okay,
me,
okay.
unfortunately.
Well, everyone, when I started my real estate group, everyone says, "Oh, get an LLC for each one of your properties." I didn't realize until I started with the trust, 40% of LLCs get sued every year. So, uh, because of COVID, every single state, you either go to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission online and can research LLCs, S corps, or C corps. So, it's not private at all. Third way it saves: if all your assets are in the trust, no, and all lawsuits become frivolous. So a true story: one of my clients, renter's dog got loose. The mailman tried suing the owner, and he's just like, the only person you can go after is the renter. The renter's dog. That's who you have to go after. And then this is from the Treasury Department, but there's this crazy rule that very few people know about: the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act. If you're doing business as, if you're an LLC, an S corp, or a C corp, you have to fill out this paperwork for the Treasury Department, or you could be fined $10,000 and/or 2 years in jail. And I mean, one of my clients who had 44 properties, had 44 LLCs. I saved him a headache of doing that paperwork 44 times. He'd have to do the paperwork on each one of them. And he says, like, why didn't anyone tell me this? I'm like, it's we're not talking about in the United States. It's a little bit scary, but people have until December 31st, 2024 to do the paperwork and not be in trouble for that.
That's interesting. There's a lot of knowledge getting shared right now. This is super interesting. Sally, what's next? I mean, if you're making X amount, I think you said 4 to 6 videos a day. What's holding you back from doubling or tripling that output on a daily basis and having double or triple the amount of opportunities come in?
Correct. It's kind of interesting because all of a sudden, how do you say, it's been magnetized. I'm having meetings and things like this. What I have 7 nieces. One of my nieces went to a private school. She graduated. She's working for county government in California, and she's got. You guys don't have student loans in Canada. You guys go for free. That's lucky. But she's got
Oh, we have
a
we
lot
have
of
student
money.
loans.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
It's ugly. So I've been helping her for the past few months. Well, over Christmas, she tells her other 2 sisters, "Hey, Aunt Sally's paying my private student loans. Talk to her." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Samantha. I didn't. So I am helping my. They're all beneficiaries of the trust, so they don't have to pay any taxes on this. But you know, her student loans were more than her apartment rent was in California. That's just crazy. How do people live like that? It's just, she was doing 2 different jobs. She was dog sitting on the weekends and dog walking and things like this. And I'm like, Samantha, let me help you out because you shouldn't be working so hard. I mean, she went to school for good education and she's not getting paid. Yeah, I mean, she's getting paid $35,000 a year and can't afford her student loans.
Yeah, that's not right. You shouldn't be signing up for school. Like and it's not right in the system, I mean, is you sign up for school and then you're forever paying off the education you
Correct.
got and the knowledge you got. But you need that in order to get a job. Like it's very backwards. It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. I mean, when I started the trust and I paid off $184,000, part of that I went to graduate school, which was even more expensive. But I paid off my mortgage. I paid off. I when my car got hit by a gentleman with no insurance, and I was upside down on the auto loan, and I had 2 auto loans. I mean, life came at me very ugly, and um, I don't know if you remember Irma Bombacher, but I was living in Phoenix and she lived near me. And her comment was, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. And I always think of that.
That's cool. It sounds like there's been a lot of mental toughness as well, Sally, and just like what keeps you going each day? Because obviously it's not all up and to the right. There's going to be hurdles, there's peaks and valleys. So what gets you out of bed each day to keep doing this?
That's a great question. I'm a student of Thinking into Results by Bob Proctor, Sandy Gallagher. Um, I was teaching in my real estate group in Phoenix once a week for 18 months when I had a falling out with the gentleman who ran the group. Uh, Basically, long involved story, but I didn't get paid enough on a real estate deal. And I sent him a simple text saying, what happened to our 50-50 partnership? The next day, I don't know if it's Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde showed up, and he's just like, I can't trust you. Your mastermind is on hold for the next 6 weeks. I'm like, I'm not a human yo-yo. So my Thinking to Results coach, Susan Ma, I contacted her and she's like, let's talk at 7 o'clock the next morning. She gets on the Zoom and she goes, I need you to move. I need you to get a new real estate group, and I need you to start your own business because I've been doing, the gentleman, I'll just use the first name, Zach, and I were business partners. He was my mentor. He was my friend. All of a sudden, the golden goose went away. In March of 2022, when I started my own business, I didn't know what I was doing, and it's just been flourishing. I mean, people, if I can tell you a funny story, I'm on TikTok. I get a message on TikTok going, can you call this number at 2 o'clock East Coast time tomorrow? I call the number. This guy picks up and he goes, who's this? And I'm like, it's Sally from TikTok. He's like, I'm not on TikTok. And I'm like, well, someone told me to call you at this time. He goes, I'm a semi-truck driver. It's my mandatory break time. Independent semi-truck driver. Didn't know they make so much money. He lives in Nevada, tax-free state. We are still saving him $59,960 per year, or I don't have it in front of me, but
Wow.
a whole bunch of money per month. His whole thing was the money he's going to save with the Spendthrift Trust, he will pay off his truck faster within 3 months, and then he'll be able to make more money doing this. And he's just, and I'm like, I don't know who left the message on TikTok. He goes, that was my wife. And I'm like, you owe your wife 2 dozens of roses. I mean, she's looking out for you. And he's just like, we're going to go on vacation now that the truck will be paid off. And, it sounds crazy, but semi-truck drivers, Amazon store owners, Etsy, not Etsy, Etsy store owners, one of my store owners, 23 years old. I mean, if her store is growing month after month, but by the time she's 33, she's going to have saved over $135,000. I mean, she's saving $1,444 per month. That's more than her apartment rent in Los Angeles. She's like, it makes sense. I love my job. I love making people happy.
That's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. Sally, thank you so much for sharing all of this. This is really insightful, and I hope everyone who's listening gets in touch with you to see if this can help out their clients. People can get in touch with you for either for themselves, for their business, for their clients of their business. How can someone get in touch with you for those who are listening?
I appreciate that. Again, my name's a little bit unusual. My last name. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I right now kind of banned from Instagram. Don't even ask. I don't know how you get. I can't post anything on Instagram for the past week. I don't know if that's going to come back or not. But especially my free class, because people, they're probably thinking this is. I hate to say it. People are thinking this is not true. But please go out to www.sallygimon.com. Watch it's a free class. It's a 23-minute video. There's a slide deck for the business trust. There's examples of people saving money there, and another slide deck for investing, just to show. Set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, and I'll take you out to NerdWallet, a free website, show you the formula, and then make a decision. Just because you haven't heard of it before, don't brush it off, if that makes sense. Put some time into it and find out what the rich know.
Yeah, awesome. I hope people check it out, Sally. I hope people who's listening go to that. We'll put the link in the description of the episode as well. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for sharing all this information.
Well, thank you for having me, James. I appreciate you taking a chance on me. So have a wonderful week.
Thanks for listening to CFO Chronicles, the secrets behind success. We hope today's episode provided valuable strategies to help you attract more high-paying clients. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and share with fellow professionals. Connect with us on LinkedIn and leave a review or comment to join the conversation. Your feedback helps us bring you the best insights in finance and marketing. Until next time, keep striving for success and unlocking your business's potential.